Hey guys, what's going on? This is Jordan Miller. I'm the founder of BreatheHeavy, and I put up a sticker last night asking you guys to ask me some questions, and so here goes. 100% absolutely. If anything, I feel like I've grown to appreciate and respect Britney even more than ever, simply because not only is she an iconic artist that I idolized as a kid, but to be able to kind of have this perspective of really rooting for her in terms of her personal independence through this whole Free Britney movement, I've really grown to love her even more. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Jordan Miller. I'm the founder of BreatheHeavy, and I put up a sticker last night asking you guys to ask me some questions, and so here goes. 100% absolutely. If anything, I feel like I've grown to appreciate and respect Britney even more than ever, simply because not only is she an iconic artist that I idolized as a kid, but to be able to kind of have this perspective of really rooting for her in terms of her personal independence through this whole Free Britney movement, I've really grown to love her even more. Future Nostalgia is obviously one of the best pop records of the year, so I would absolutely love songs that were left on the cutting room floor to see the light of day. Dua Lipa is an amazing artist, so yes, I hope so. So this is a really interesting question, and I'm a little bit nervous, I guess, to answer because I feel like I might get some backlash. However, I feel like it's important to be my authentic self and tell you guys what I really think. I personally think that it's really important for us to remember, especially right now, that the reason we fell in love with Britney is because she is an amazing artist and a singer. And the Free Britney movement has kind of, I think, made people lose sight of that a little bit. Which makes complete sense, by the way, considering that we are basically championing, her autonomy and her right to make personal decisions for herself. So it makes sense that the artistry and all that has kind of taken a back seat. There's this idea that if you buy the vinyl, you're essentially supporting the conservatorship and the people that are essentially keeping Britney stuck in this situation. And after doing a little bit of digging, I actually found out that's not really the case. Britney's label has already sold X amount of these vinyls, so by not buying the vinyl, you're actually kind of hurting these independent record stores. So, long story short, if you want to support Britney by buying this vinyl, I say go for it. However, I do understand the notion of boycotting the Britney brand as a way to hit the conservatorship team where it hurts. But I just feel like not celebrating Britney's music in this capacity, it just doesn't feel right. And just so people understand, I got a ton of comments and questions like this, and in private, because people are a little bit scared to say it openly because of the backlash. So that's kind of why I'm taking the time to really dig into this. Obviously, I have so much history with Britney that she's just going to be my favorite pop star of all time forever. But as predictable as this sounds, I really, really, really love Gaga. I love Gaga so much. This is really interesting because I feel like Breathe Heavy has a Mariah post at least every single day. So if you're thinking about just maybe Instagram, that makes sense. Instagram only sees about 5% of what goes on Breathe Heavy in a given day. There's been a couple instances throughout my history, and that includes like meeting Britney in 2007, going to one of her rehearsals for the Femme Fatale tour, going on stage for Piece of Me. There was like some tweets here and there. I got to do a Q&A with her via email. So that's kind of the limited interaction I've had. So I just realized I said all of these like amazing, awesome opportunities. I'm like, limited interaction. It's been amazing the opportunities I've had. She's an icon, and I owe so much to her. I would really love for everyone, my readers, members included, you guys, to be, more respectful when it comes to her family. It's possible to, disagree with what's going on and have an opinion about her family, but it's also possible to do it in a way that doesn't tear anyone down, which I know is really difficult to do. And I'm very aware people won't like that I'm saying that. But that's okay. I think that, I don't like this notion of fighting fire with fire. And this isn't about Jamie Lynn in particular. I'll tell you why I'm saying this. I was told multiple times recently that Britney's reading my website, and there are comments that hurt her. And that totally shifted my view on how people comment, because it just reminded me that Britney, at the end of the day, even though we've built her up to be this larger than life icon and fixture, she is still a human being, and words can hurt. So the last thing I want is for her to read Breathe Heavy and feel bad at all, and same with her fam. And that also includes comments about how she looks, her appearance, things like that. I just think we all need to be kind. And it's actually, on the surface, it sounds like an easy thing to do, but it takes mental energy. And basically, it's pretty easy to be nasty and rude, I feel like. And it takes work to be kind. So let's just take the extra step, pause, take a moment, take a breath, and make sure that whatever we're saying on the internet doesn't hurt anybody. One more thing about kindness is that I didn't put enough time and attention into moderating Exhale. And so I know that there's a little bit of a reputation of my forum that it's kind of a negative place. And I think in years past it was. However, I've spent all of 2020 basically changing that. And I think it is a much, much better, more positive, brighter place. So if you were unwilling in the past to give it a chance, please go now. It's totally different, I promise. So this is going to be the last question, unfortunately. Got some other things to take care of today, but I do want to address this because I get asked this a lot, and I don't want people to think I'm just being a dick. So the leading reason, which is a little hard for me to admit, but I do want to practice being vulnerable, is that I kind of have some social anxiety, especially with kind of big groups of people. And I know that sounds like an excuse, but that's kind of where I'm at right now. And then there's just a couple other reasons, there's kind of a pandemic going on, and I live in Vegas, so that's been difficult to kind of get out to LA, even though it's not too far. Also, I'll give you an example of kind of why I'm nervous to go to these. At one of the last protests, there was a man literally with a megaphone yelling into the crowd, talking shit about Breathe Heavy and how it's such a toxic, horrible place. And I just don't want to be around that. I'm just trying to kind of live a life as, drama-free as possible, and so I don't want to be around someone screaming at me with a megaphone about how horrible my business is. However, that's not to say that there wouldn't be groups of people coming up to me and hopefully saying how much they appreciated Breathe Heavy. I don't want to pretend there's not an other side of the coin. But it's very fight or flight, and I just kind of want to fly. One last thing is that I feel like I'm better served being able to be on my computer and promoting these rallies and being online to be able to kind of, spread the information and spread the stories of what's going on. And for example, I'm working on a free Britney timeline that's going to start from, I believe, all the way from 2006 up until now, and it's going to be a literal visual timeline of everything that's gone on. Legal documents, social media posts. It's going to be very easy to follow. And that's kind of an example of how I feel like I am better utilized in this Free Britney movement. So anyway, thank you guys so much for all the questions. I love you guys. You mean everything to me. I greatly appreciate you, and I'll talk to you soon.